Series.
Great start again by Dave Hall there on the Suzuki.
David Hall's always wild. In fact, that's not a wild start. You know, just seems to struggle keeping that front wheel down. But
excuse you.
Okay, it is indeed. I think it's Dave.
Oh.
It's Richie Dibbin out in the front. It's Richie Dibbin, the Motard ace, and now the 600 ace with Avalon Biddle there in second. I can see that silhouette of David Hall. Seems to sit on the bike differently. This silhouette is exactly how I remember Jason McEwen, one of New Zealand's best ever racers and one of the top ones out of Manawatu, if not the top one over history, certainly internationally, out of the Manawatu. So this is the silhouette there. We're looking on Ctas, and we can see them. Beautiful footage there for Ctas. They zoom in, zoom out. I think they've got Joe Sheriff's on the camera as well, and that is broadcast to the world. Tell your friends. I think you'll find that Avalon Biddle's just getting a couple of bike lengths down that back straight. Whether her bike's faster as a bike package, certainly she's a little bit lighter than Richie Dibbin, just because she's about 3 foot shorter, and Richie Dibbin a lightweight, but it's going to be fighting it through the corners. Here comes Avalon Biddle down there. She looks up on the inside going into tight. I think Richie Dibbin's got the wider line round here and will keep the corner speed up there, so Avalon Biddle could carry on the brakes a bit more. And then there's David Hall in third place, and that must be Rogan Chandler in fourth. I could see the orange leathers in fifth of the Scott Structural Triumph 675. Another local man, the Air Force engineer, Ashton Hughes, there in 2, 4th, 5th place. And then it is Adam Chambers in the 64 machine from the Hawke's Bay in 7th place.
And Tarbin Walker on his tail.
Tarbin Walker, yep. So Dibbin, Biddle, David Hall, Rogan Chandler, Ashton Hughes, Adam Chambers, Tarbin Walker, Toby Summers, Daniel Kempthorne. That's how it sits. So Toby won't be very happy with where he sits in there. He was right up at about 4th place last time round, but now it looks like he's 2, 4, 6, 8th place, maybe even as far back as 9th, trying to pick out the colours. The sun is not very favourable to us in the commentary box, so we'll have to wait through till they come onto the front straight. It is what it is, folks. We're doing our best up here and we're enjoying ourselves. Don't normally enjoy commentating, certainly enjoying this. And tight down that front straight. It's still, here comes Avalon Biddle. She's practicing this one. Is she going to hold it there, Ian Dawson?
Yeah, she definitely. She was passing a lot earlier, going a little bit wide, but held on. Richie Dibbin got the power to the ground. He's up the inside, but she's not backing off.
Well, here comes David Hall. He's piled back up there, and indeed Rogan Chandler, I think he's the points leader so far. So those 4 bikes had a bit of a breakaway there. I'm going to go across to lap record time. Lap record of 107.046. We're nearly a second off there. The 3/4 of no, the fastest one out there. David Hall, a 107.311, the man that took away the lap record last weekend in the Taupo round of the Suzuki International Series. So fireworks out there aplenty. Right at the other end, we've got Luke Riley, Ben Nicholson and Robbie Stokes there at the tail end. So the only change of position is Dave Fellows has gone ahead of Daniel Kempthorne, or 2, and Gary Morgan's been pushed behind by Xavier Dennis, our Frenchman, on the number 13 machine further down the field. Action of plenty. You got you're losing money there, Ian Dawson, on the wins here. Avalon Biddle strong here. Remember, she had a crash here in the Suzuki Series in the Toyota corners. We don't want to put the commentators cursed on there, but she did have a crash here. So did Toby Summers last year from memory as well. Correct me if I'm incorrect, but look at that, a gap of about 6 or 7 bike lengths, maybe even up to about 15 bike lengths. And now I think the big threat from Richie Dibbin is David Hall. Looks up on the inside, carries a braking on a little bit longer, and indeed he's the fastest man on the track by a bit. In fact, he's 1/4 of a second faster than Richie Dibbin, so the fireworks are on. And now
big moment there from Richie Dibbin, almost over the handlebars, coming out of the hill. Oh, he's got a big clip for David Hall. Richie Dibbin flying down the road there, the old Concord straight there. He's don't know. He's okay. That's going to be a bit of conjecture. Look how far the bike went.
Oh dear, so meanwhile Avalon Biddle, the thing is he's up and walking away. The thing is we're going to see the slow motion there. There was a bit of drama there, a red flag with a bit of drama. The slow motion is happening on Ctas. We're going to see what's happening there. And David Hall is in front of him, and just something's going on there.
Yeah, that wouldn't be, that's Rogan putting his arm up.
The important thing is that Richie Dibbon is up and he has a spare bike, but the bike's lying on the track, so we've got a red flag. So that was with 5 laps to go now. It's now down to the rule keepers whether we restart this race. I believe you're allowed 1 restart. We're going to find out here whether we restart the race. We've got a steward next door. People are shaking heads. We will wait for the official call on that.
It's another bit of bad luck for the Formula 2 600 class. They seem to be having a bit of run of it over the last 18 months. So they just haven't been able to get their complete races in.
Well, Richie Dibbon as well got taken out twice in Australia. Yeah, he got taken out, big one in Eastern Creek, and also I think it was Morgan Park, was it? One of those ones where somebody else went down in front, wasn't taken out, but there's somebody piled over him. So.
And then the first round of the New Zealand Supersport Championship last year, they didn't even get to race. Remember that they got to the second round and there was only one person who got a score, and that was Avalon Biddle, because she'd run pole.
Yeah, because there was a race red flag on the day was called off because of the dramas there with a serious incident.
So it never really happened. But folks, that was a pretty fast accident there, and it's good to see that Richie managed to get up, and you see him put his hands in the air. What the hell happened? But we're waiting on the officials now to find out what they are going to do. There is all sorts of rules. You know, how many laps have done, all that kind of stuff. But all the bikes are going back into the pits. Clark, of course, Jim Tuckerman. Is Jim? No, he's the steward.
Jim's down there.
Steward of the meeting, talking to Clark, of course.
It is what it is. So iPony Oils brought to you the Formula 2 class, and presented by Derby Accessories. And what a great program, folks. You'll see 3 lanes in the program there. You've got T, MF and CC. Now what that is down in each class, T is for Taupo, M is for Manfeild, and CC is for Cemetery Circuit. You've got a YYY. That means they're doing all 3 rounds. So the majority of the riders are doing all 3 rounds. That gives you that